Okay, so Deep Sky Stacker finished processing data for all panels. Let's see how the stacks look like. So this is the first, we already checked this. This is the first panel. This is the second panel, already stacked with very nice stars in the area, which will be one of the corners in the original image. This is the second corner. This is the second corner. This is the third corner. And this is the fourth corner. For each corner, I used 5 frames, 120 seconds each, shot at f10. So now we have to take care of the material shot at f5, which is about 7 hours in total. So what we need to do is to clear the list first. Then I will open the first set of frames shot at f10 to see which frame is the best. This is this one with the highest score. And this frame, I will use this frame, the best frame from the central panel shot at f10. I will use as a reference frame, for the material shot at f5. So first I loaded the reference frame and then I again open picture files and I will choose lights shot at f5, 480 seconds each, 8 minutes. This is the first night and this is the second night. All right, check all. But I don't want to check the frame which is the reference frame. I don't want to stack it with the rest of the frames. I only want to use it as reference frame. So yeah, I unchecked this frame shot at f10 used as a reference, and the rest of frames shot at f5, they remain checked. And I also open flat files shot at f5, which are flats, which are here. 60 flats. So altogether I have 52 light frames shot at f5, 8 minutes each frame, which gives me about 7 hours of data. 7 hours worth of data, I think. This is how you English people say it, 7 hours worth of data. And 60 flats. Yes, 60 flat frames and 55 light frames. So, register checked pictures. I already stacked them for the previous runs of this tutorial. So, the option register already registered pictures is active. In the advanced tab, I have to increase the star detection threshold. I think it was about 60%. Because the data shot at f5 during 8 minutes, each frame is much brighter. So you need to increase the star detection threshold. Otherwise, you will get thousands of stars for each image. 105 stars is enough. For stacking parameters, we use standard mode. But for stacking mode, I can use kappa sigma clipping because I have 52 frames, so it's plenty to choose from for the rejection procedure. Instead of no background calibration, I choose per channel background calibration, which normalizes. It uses normalization for the frames. They were shot during 2 nights, so the sky brightness could be different. So I want the frames to be normalized before stacking. Because I am using rejection algorithm, I want the frames to be normalized before the rejection algorithm. Then flats stacked with median, and I don't use darks this time because I'm using dithering for my F5 session. Alright, so let's click OK. Let's click OK. Almost 7 hours of data, almost 7 hours worth of data. And let's press OK. And Deep Sky Stacker will first register all the frames on this one reference frame at F10, and then all the frames will be stacked. Okay, so Deep Sky Stacker is finishing stacking the material shot at F5. Yep, this is the final image. Let's see how it looks like. Yep, this is it. So this is the material shot at F5. For some time now I use Graxpert for denoising the images, and I also did for this picture, for making this picture, I also first denoised the F5 stack, but for the purpose of this tutorial I will not do it. But I can definitely recommend using Graxpert. It does really good job in denoising the images, and it changes the amount of stretching you can make with your image. But anyway, this is the stack of frames shot at F5, and it is registered on the best frame shot at F10. So now if I switch, if I switch back and forth between these two stacks, autosave and autosave 001, we can see this is the stack at F5, shot at F5, and this is the stack shot at F10 with perfect stars. So they are registered to each other, so all the stars are aligned perfectly. But at the stack shot at F10, stars in the central part are perfectly round, and stars shot at F5 are triangular. But I'm not worrying about this because I will remove them using StarNet. But first, what we need to do is we need to stretch. First I will rename all the stacks. So the first stack shot at F10 I will name stars 00, and the stack shot at F5 I will name autosave F5. And I will also rename the stacks of other panels stars 01. This is the first corner. This is the second corner, stars 02. This is the third corner, stars 03. And this is the fourth corner, stars 04. Alright, now I need to open all these stacks in Siril and make color calibration and also stretching. Okay, so first I will set the home directory. Yeah, I think this catalog, this folder will be good. So let me open the first stack, the F5 stack. And the first thing I will do is I will make color calibration. Please note that I am not making any crop yet. We don't make any crops because we want to merge all the files in GIMP later on. So without making any crop, I will do photometric color calibration, NGC 1499. Okay, the focal length is 400 millimeters. The pixel size of Nikon D5100 is 4.78 microns. So I simply click OK and the photometric color calibration is done. Now I will usually stretch the image just a bit, also using asine transformation. But for the purpose of this tutorial, just to make things quicker, I will simply use auto stretch for the F5 material. So let's click apply and close the histogram transformation window. The material shot at F5 can be saved in a format for StarNet. So remember not to use the save button because it will overwrite your original stack. What we want to do is to save the already stretched, color calibrated and stretched F5 stack as TIFF file. So first let me change the name, stretch, F5 stretch, and we want to save it as TIFF file and moreover as 16-bit TIFF file, because this is the format accepted by StarNet. So the first stack is done. Now I want to open stacks shot at F10. So this is the central part. Image processing, color calibration, okay. And I will also use auto stretch. It is important to use the same stretching amount for each frame with stars, each stack with stars, because later on when we will combine all these frames in GIMP, we want the stars to be of similar size. So simply for all panels shot at F10, I will use the same amount of stretching, simply auto stretch in Siril. Okay, so the first panel is color calibrated and stretched, so I save it. But this is an important step. I will save it yet or now. For the moment, I will save it as 32 bits diff. So I simply call it stretch. Fit. Did I set fit? Did I say fit? I'm saving them as fits, 30-bit floating point fits. Why? Because I will have to register them in Deep Sky Stacker in a moment. So this is the first panel with stars. This is the second panel, the first corner. And actually with all these frames, I'm making the same procedure, so I could write a script to make all this for me. Every panel, every stack with stars shot at f10 has to be color calibrated and auto stretched and saved as 32 bits fit. And that's it. That's all for this part of the processing. So let's call it stretch fit. And the second one. All right. So I have all 5 panels saved as color calibrated and stretched fits. This is the first panel, the second one, the third one, the fourth one, and the fifth one. And now what I need to do is to register the 4 corners on the central image. I need to do it, I will do it in Deep Sky Stacker. So let's clear the list. Let's add these 5 frames with stars. And now what I will do is I will set the first one, stars 00, the central one. I will set it, I will use it as reference frame. Check all. And now actually what we need to do, we don't want to stack the panels, the frames, the fits, the files. We don't want to stack them because they are already stacked. What we want is to make registered versions of these files. Because we want in each frame the area which should be in the corner is in the central part. And what I want to do is I want to align all these frames in a way which will make the central part appear in the corner. So I have to register the frames with corners on the central frame. So what I will do is I will register checked pictures. I click advanced. The number of detected stars, yes, I think maybe 400 is too much, but there need be more than 100 stars. So let's make it like 200s, 300s. Yeah, I think it's okay. As for stacking parameters, I can use average. Like I said, it's not important. What is important though is that in the tab intermediate files, we have to mark create a registered calibrated file for each light frame. This is very important because this option will generate the registered versions of files for us. Yeah, so cosmetic, I don't touch it. Output, it's okay. Click OK. So yeah, total exposure is 50 minutes. It's 5 times 10 minutes each frame. I click OK. Okay, so Deep Sky Stacker finished stacking the images. Let's see how it looks like. So this is the stacked image, but we don't need this image, this stack. What we need are these files with the part of the name added reg, which means they are registered. So this is the central part, it's essentially the same. This is the part with one of the corners, and this is the registered version of this part. Let's increase the brightness a little bit. And this is what I want. I want, instead of such image, I want this part to be registered, so the part of this field of view which is in the central part, now after registration is in the corner, because this makes stars in the corner perfectly round, because originally they were in the center of this image. So this is the registered, one of the registered corners. This is the second corner. This is the registered version. This is the third corner. This is the registered version. And this is the fourth corner. And this is the registered version. So stars in each of the registered versions in the corners are perfectly round. This is exactly what we want. Alright, so now what we need to do is to save these registered files with stars, again in Siril, as 16-bit TIFFs, because we want to run all these files through run or put, how to say. We want to process them, all of them, in StarNet to remove stars. So let's open the first registered version and let's save it as TIFF, 16-bit TIFF. Let's open the first corner, the registered version of the first corner, and let's save it as TIFF. Okay, so all files are saved as 16 bits TIFFs. And now I am ready to run all files, registered files shot at F10 and also the stack with F5 material, shot at F5, to run all of them in StarNet, to process them in StarNet. So I already showed in my previous videos how to use StarNet, the standalone version of StarNet. So I open, for the purpose of this tutorial, I will only show the first file just to remember how, to remind you how to do it. So I choose Browse, I select the first file, I click Open, and I add the part of the name No Stars. So this will be the starless version. And I hit Run. And now StarNet starts removing stars. So I will repeat exactly the same procedure for the rest of the frames. So now the F5 is preparing for become the starless version, and I will also remove stars from the frames shot at F10. This will take some time, so I will stop the recording and I will get back to you when I will have the starless versions.